Vaishnav Charan could come, Pandit Gauri did not come. But he came the next day. Vaishnav Charan already gave his declaration judgment. Yes, I fully agree that he is the supreme incarnation of the God. He is the incarnation of God. Then next day the Gauri came and he also had a lot of discussion and then he asked, what did Vaishnav Charan say about him? He said that he is the incarnation. Is that all he said about him? I say that he is the most supreme incarnation of the God. So that is the Brahmini came and then she was adept in Tantra Vidya. So she instructed him into Tantra Vidya, she taught him the Tantra Vidya. So she was his guru for 4 years. But she came and found Ramakrishna Paramahansa. So 4 years went, Tantra Vidya he learned and all that. After 4 years, third guru comes, actually second guru, Totapuri. He was like 40 years, he has done the sadhana and he has attained the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, but he was a wandering monk. Nowhere, his rule was, nowhere he will stay in a place for more than 3 days. And so he was passing through Dakshineshwar and this boy was sitting outside. Then he saw this boy. He was also some unknown attraction to him. And then he went to him, looked at him and told him, I would like to instruct you into the sannyasa. Oh, is that right? I have to ask my mother and tell you. Then he thought he will ask his earthly mother. He said, okay, go ask and come back. He went to the Kali temple, asked the Divine Mother. He used to commune with the Divine Mother all the time. So he asked the Divine Mother, she gave the permission. He said, okay, my mother has agreed, you can refuse. So he introduced him to sannyasa and then he taught him about the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and all that, how to get into meditation and Samadhi. And then he did some instruction and then he locked him into a room. You know, it's a big story, so I'm trying to short it down. He locked him into a room, saying that, okay, here, you meditate, and then I will open the door after some time. He thought this boy is going to make noise. Oh, open the door, he will feel suffocated and all that. No noise came for 1 full day. This boy was absolutely absorbed into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. This guy was amazed. He opened the door and he was still absorbed in Samadhi. He was amazed. What took me more than 40 years, this boy has done in just a matter of hours. This is what the point I'm trying to make is, we don't need to go in search of a guru. Gurus will search us, but depending on how much we are ready. First we have to tune our minds and then the gurus will come and find us. You know, depending on, that is the scheme of the God. So that is the grace of the God is like that. Grace of the Guru, Prasadena, Guru said, Prasadena means grace. Grace of the Guru and the God. And also some people ask the question, how do we get the grace? Grace is some kind of a commodity available in the market, so you go and buy it, paying some different kind of price. Can you, by doing some seva or doing some such and such things, can you find the grace of the God? No, the grace is available right now. And then Ramakrishna Paramahansa answered this question. He said, the breeze of the God's grace blows equally blows everywhere. Only very few intelligent ones, only very few wise ones, they unfurl the sail of their minds in order to avail that grace. Only very few wise ones can do it. So, the answer to that question is, grace is available as we are sitting here right now. It is there. Only we have to tune our minds, just like the radio frequency or the television frequency. Those signals are there. We have to tune our instruments. We have to buy enough channels or pay to the cable company, buy enough channels. So our instrument, TV can catch hold of those radio frequencies or whatever frequencies, then it can catch those channels. That's all we have to do. To tune our minds in order to get the signals from God and have that God's grace. God's grace is flowing all the time. So that is what is again we finished the section of the Mumukshutvam today, and with that we have finished the Sādhanacatuṣṭayam. And another example that one of the commentator, Swami Ranganathananda, he also gives a very beautiful example, physical example, that the Indian National Congress was formed in the year 1886, and that was a very mild expression of the country's desire to be free from the British. Very mild, and people mildly pass some resolution, oh yes, we have to do this. very mild. But then more and more people joined and it became intense and intense and intense. So now 60 years later, 61 years later in 1947, we did get the freedom. So in the beginning, when we, at the very beginning of our religious spiritual journey, this desire for liberation is maybe very, very mild or mediocre. Don't have to worry about it. With this Vairagyena, Samadhina and Prasadena grows. With these three things, this Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatak Sampatti, that desire for liberation is going to be intense and Pravardha means grow intense gradually, and then it is going to bear fruit. Bear fruit means we will have that Brahma Jigyasa, the Brahma Gyan. So that's what it is. And so now we will do some, any question, welcome to the class. We have some question you can.
You were very clear. Thank you.
That's good.
Tomorrow what time?
Tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the main shrine.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So more we cultivate this sampatti, then
Sampatti.
we don't give any freedom to Ishvara to appear in form of Guru.
See, all this division we do, spiritual, it's all mind, the material versus spiritual, we can be just consistent, the same person in both worlds exist.
Mhm.
And that differences is all only in the mind, Sometimes, we say this is spiritual, as though it's quite different from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yesterday we talked about it. Let me answer it in the more. Krishna, Lord Krishna has answered this question very nicely in the 8th chapter. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmar yuddhecha mayarpit manobuddhi mame eshyasya sansayam. So generally a common man at the start of the religious journey, we distinguish that this is secular and this is spiritual. This is religious, this is non-religious. So therefore we often hear this complaint, especially from the ladies, even from the gents. The person will say, "Arey yaar, I am so busy in that work, then I come to work, 8-10 hours I have to work, then I come back home, then some social obligations, some family obligations. Where do I have the time to meditate, do yoga, pranayam, meditation?" Absolutely, I have zero time for doing all these spiritual practices. Ladies will say, "Oh, I have to cook food, clean the house, leave the children to school, then bring them back. Where do I have time? I have no time." That is because we are, as you said, dividing, making a distinction between secular and spiritual. Krishna has solved the problem very nicely. Don't consider them different. They are the same. There is absolutely no difference between secular and spiritual. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year, mam manusmar. Think me, remember me all the time and fight your battle. Do whatever you want. Do your job, meeting, everything, or cleaning, children, job, everything. Do everything just as usual you are doing. No change in your routine. But only thing is, keep your mind on me. Mind on me. So then, there is no difference between secular and spiritual. They combine together, and that's how, that is the most important according to a practical tip from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Very good.
So
Very nice.
You become one.
Right.
Not two.
Not two. Not two.
One.
Everything is one. No difference between secular and spiritual. Then you cannot say I have no time, because whatever you are doing, I am remembering God. Then further next to that, next step is offer everything to me. In the 9th chapter he says, "Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat josi, dadasi yat tapasyashi konteya, tat kurushya madarpana." Whatever you eat, whatever you do, offer everything to me. And the last one comes in the 18th chapter. Yata pravartir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarche siddhim vindati manava. From whom is the evolution of all the being? Yata pravartir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam. By whom this entire universe is pervaded. Yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarche. By worshipping him, that supreme reality with your own actions, people can achieve perfection. So you don't have to do anything different. Work becomes worship. Work becomes worship. You don't have to go to the puja room to do worship. You can do worship. Sarvapriyananda again said a story, a very beautiful story for a layman. No? He said he was traveling somewhere in a plane and it was very late. Customs officer asked and there was some delay. So he said, Swamiji, kuch bataiye, Hindi mein bataiye, tell me something, give me some instructions. So then he asked him what to tell, do you do some puja or worship? I do puja, I offer a flower every day before coming. I offer one flower to Hanumanji. Okay, and that's okay, very good, that's good. But then now, see here, but he said, Swamiji, I don't get much time, more time to do puja and all that. That's the only time I have in the whole day. He said, okay, don't worry. Now, when you come here to the airport for customs duty, every customer you check, after filling this, think that you have offered one more flower to Hanumanji. Just your mental attitude you change. Once you check one customer, then you say that, okay, you have offered one more flower to Hanumanji. That guy was so happy. Arey wow, din bhar Hanumanji ki puja.
So that becomes pleasure.
Yeah. So your work becomes worship. That's why Krishna says, Yat karosi yat asnasi. Whatever you do, offer it as a worship. This verse is these are the very beautiful instructions coming from Bhagavad Gita.
Ramakrishna also says, do all your duties but keep your mind on God.
Yeah, Vivekananda said exactly in the more, keep your hands on work and the mind on God. In this country he said that, one of the lectures. Keep your hands on work, mind on God. Don't reverse the combination.
So Gita is Advaitism, no Advaita. Total Advaita.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can we call that stage as Samadhana?
Say that again?
Can we call that stage as Samadhana?
Samna.
Not exactly Samadhan. It's a part of your worship actually. Samadhan means you are complete, your mind or intellect is completely absorbed in that Sarvada Sthapanam Buddhe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvada. Your mind is completely absorbed in the Brahman all the time. And in a way you can call it, because you are offering everything to the God.
Correct.
Yeah, in a way you can call it Samadhan because all your actions you are offering it to the God.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
exactly.
if you are doing
Ishwararpana buddhi.
Ishwararpana Buddhi, yeah.
Whatever you do is.
but that happens from Shamadama Uparati Titiksha, and then you reach
Yeah.
relatively there.
Right.
But
Yeah, you
don't-
can call
you
it
don't-
Samadhan.
You don't have to for the guy in the example.
Yeah,
He doesn't
but
need all those
he may not
stages.
do that
Just one
if he
stage.
has not cultivated the previous aspect. Yeah, that is the way we can tell him, but it can be
Absolutely.
absolutely become what he follows if he has withdrawn his all of the previous prerequisites, as you said.
Right.
A step-by-step process, that's what this whole.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Samadhana is.
Samadhan. You can, in a way, you can call it a Samadhan.
Right.
Not exactly Samadhan, but a kind of
But
Samadhan
always,
because you are the Ishwararpana Buddhi. Every time your mind is absorbed into the Brahman or the Supreme God, that
Correct.
whatever you do, you offer to the Lord.
Yeah.
Ishwararpana Buddhi. So
If he may follow, but that may be partially mechanical if that thing is not done. Then it's like it is spontaneous if he has gone through the previous stuff.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. We will say with the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all be happy. May all be free from afflictions. May all see things auspicious. May none be subjected to misery. Om peace, peace, and peace be unto all. Thank you.